Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I think we're right at 11 o'clock, and I want to make sure that I'm respectful of everyone's time. So if you could all take your seats, please. First things first, how is the temperature? Are we comfortable? Are we hot? Hot? Hold, please. Okay. Hey, Sue, can you get the door? Okay, we are right at 11 o'clock, so I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time. First of all, good morning. Everybody feeling good? Fantastic, fantastic. I am Sherry Houston. I am your statewide employee recognition program coordinator, and welcome to the 2021 Commissioners Awards for Outstanding Achievement. I had to let that word hang in the air a little bit. Outstanding, because truly, ladies and gentlemen, it really is. This is not just to make you feel good, it really is remarkable. Every year, I get hundreds of nominations from all across the state, and we go through pages and literally a thick binder like this of documents and nominations and pictures, and there are only 54 recipients. And you're one of them. We get them together and submit them to the commissioner, and he handpicks them. So truly, when I say outstanding, I let that hang in the air because it truly is outstanding. So first, congratulations. Secondly, thank you, because remember, this was supposed to happen late summer, like September, early September, and then we had scheduling conflicts. We had a little thing called a pandemic. We had a weather event. So we had all these things that pushed it back. So thank you for your flexibility, for your patience, because truly you deserve to be recognized in person. It's just that important. I like to say this is the Grammys of VDOT. I really do. It's the agency's highest honor, and it's my absolute favorite thing to do about my job. Truly it is. So without further ado, let's talk about how the morning is going to work. So before each category, there's going to be a little short video clip introducing that category, and then the presenter will come up after the video is played. The presenter will tell us about your achievement and what you've done, how great you are, and then after that, they will then call your name. But you know what? You don't do anything. All you have to do is stand up. There used to be a time when people would have to come and go to the front and hope they didn't fall and all that stuff. You don't have to do that. We will bring your award to you. The lovely ladies from the Central Office Human Resources team are ready to bring your award to you. Because what did I say? I said outstanding, right? So you deserve that, don't you think? I do. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our first clip. And I just want to let you know that at the end, we're going to have remarks. Our commissioner's not here. We have remarks from our deputy, who's going to come up. After that, I'm going to come back to the podium and give you some instructions about how the day is going to wrap up, because we're going to take a picture out in the sculpture gardens, okay? But more to that at the end, all right? Ready for the first one? I am. So ladies and gentlemen, after this video clip, we'll have our first presentation. So with that, Michael.
All right. Yeah, it's my privilege to have the first one to be able to announce and recognize here this morning. I'm going to take this mask off to make that a little less muffled. So I have the pleasure of presenting 2 awards from the Salem District. You've seen the intro of the first, which is for community service and volunteerism. When we work together, we can accomplish more to benefit our community, but sometimes it takes a person, an individual, with vision and commitment to show us the pathway to make a difference. For Salem, that person is Nathan O'Kane. He is a trailblazer who volunteers his time and talents and inspires others to contribute to make a positive impact. In the spring of 2020, after seeing news reports about COVID-19 and the shortage of personal protective equipment in hospitals, Nathan researched ways he could help. As someone who has a lot of experience with 3D printers and other technology and all the right equipment, he discovered a face shield design approved by the National Institute of Health, and he went to work. Nathan reached out to Dr. Karen Kuhl, who is the director of Carilion Clinic's Emergency Medicine Department. And if you're not familiar with Roanoke, Carilion is the major medical provider in our region. With his idea of supplying 3D printed face shields, that conversation led to the coordination with the clinic's materials management, infection control, emergency medicine, and public relations departments to develop an action plan for distributing them safely into the hands of healthcare workers in our region. Nathan created a Facebook group called 3D Printed PPE Roanoke, Virginia, to invite others with a 3D printer to join in this effort. He posted the design templates in the group, in this group, so members could create the same face shields that were approved by Carilion. They also made ear savers for people to wear with their masks. Under Nathan's leadership, the group collectively made 5,286 shields and almost 1,900 ear savers. His 3D printing efforts started in March 2020, and the Face Shields and Ear Savers project ended in August 2020, when the medical grade PPE supply caught up with the demand. In fact, the group made more shields than were requested by local hospitals, so they organized a drive-through distribution event at the Salem Civic Center and gave out an estimated 900 masks to the public. Nathan will probably be the first to tell you that it was a contribution of a lot of people, but as I mentioned, it takes that one individual. Through this unprecedented crisis, Nathan gave of his time and talents, worked through the challenges to find a way to help, inspired others to benefit their community, and organized volunteers toward a common cause. His actions truly made a difference and are worthy of this great recognition. It's also my great pleasure to announce that Nathan was selected as the recipient of the Governor's Honor Award for the same activity in the pandemic response category. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present the 2021 Commissioner's Award for Community Service and Volunteerism to Nathan O'Kane. All right, we are so fortunate to have 2 honorees from our district. The title of the video you just saw is Outstanding Leader or Project Manager, and this award is for Outstanding Leader. I'm proud to say that it goes to Miss Tammy Sowers. Tammy became superintendent of the Southwest Area Headquarters in Roanoke County in the fall of 2019. During a very challenging time, the established leader had left, and the department was experiencing many challenges and low morale. But Tammy was up to the task. She has a history of commitment and energetic engagement, has flourished in her new role, and has distinguished herself as one of the most inspiring and effective superintendents at VDOT. She is constantly a strong role model and ambassador for VDOT, not only with her employees, but with anyone she encounters. Her passion prompts her to go above and beyond in anything she pursues, and her support for her employees is truly outstanding. She is steadfast in communicating the message of safety, teamwork, and environmental stewardship, and encourages her operators to keep safety first by asking each employee to provide a safety message on a rotating basis. Tammy focuses on establishing and maintaining a work community where employees feel supported and valued. She has fostered a positive work environment by better organizing the facility while promoting a culture of overall teamwork. Her actions consistently reinforce her personal belief that employees should feel that they are both safe and appreciated when they report to work every day and return home safely. She encourages her operators to volunteer, and she helps organize events at charitable organizations such as Habitat for Humanity and Feeding America. Her efforts not only promote the use of community service leave, but also instill a strong sense of teamwork and shared purpose among those that are a part of the group she leads. I'll end by giving you just one example of Tammy's leadership abilities. An employee suggested, back in our challenge time with COVID, that they remain in their cars when calling in to call in and ensure social distancing during their morning meetings. So Tammy started using Google Meets for the area headquarters morning safety meeting, crew briefings, and crew assignments, and did so very early on. This practice has been implemented at many area headquarters throughout our district and was a forerunner to the mobile device communication enhancements that was eventually implemented statewide. She has established herself as a capable and exceptional leader who is committed to driving organizational change. It is for these reasons and many, many more that the Commissioner's Award for Outstanding VDOT Leader goes to Ms. Tammy Sowers. And while I know I have many other at the district that are worthy of recognition, I must pass this torch over to the Bristol District Administrator, Tabitha Crowder. Tabitha.
Thanks, Ken. Today I'm honored to present the award for Outstanding Project Manager. With SmartScale as the primary vehicle for funding future projects, Bristol Location and Design built a team to aid in the completion, independent review, and validation of each application estimate. This results usually in being the budget for a project, as most of us know. Due to workload, vacancies, and other adverse impacts to L&D, the team that was established became a person of one. That one person was Mr. Jim Jones. Jim has been a part of the SmartScale team since September 2019. He attended meetings with localities to assist with project selection, sketches, estimates, and schedules. He also aided in preparing applications and reviewing them for accuracy and completeness. He personally prepared 34 estimates and many schedules submitted for round 4. Jim provided timely input during estimate validation when some estimates and schedules required additional examination. At least 15 projects were selected in this round, which is the highest total for the Bristol District in the 4 rounds of SmartScale. His tireless efforts made this possible. Bristol L&D relies heavily on our industry partners to develop our program. As such, the increased presence of consultants necessitates that we have a greater number of experienced project managers. Jim accepted this vital role that included targeted sharing in the areas of scheduling, estimate preparation and updates, plan reviews, milestone meetings, and project development processes. As if his plate wasn't full enough, Jim served on a project-specific shortlist committee to select a consultant design team for the 3-lane widening project on Interstate 81 near Exit 10, and became a district scheduler last year. He was absolutely vital in preparing 12 estimates for the Federal Lands Access Program applications. He has also reviewed and provided estimates for planning studies that could become valid projects in the future. It's important to note that all of these contributions were in addition to his normal duties as a project manager. He guided his projects through 4 scopings, 5 preliminary field inspections, 1 public hearing, 1 field inspection, 2 pre-advertisement conferences, and 3 advertisements. His efforts helped realize the selection of over $70 million worth of smart scale projects awarded to the Bristol District. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commissioner's Award for Outstanding Project Manager goes to, and Jim, you know I can't resist, I have to say, the Bristol District Super PM, Mr. Jim Jones. So next up, after this video clip, will be our Chief of Maintenance and Operations, Mr. Kevin Gregg.
All right, somebody left me their glasses to use, so. Good morning. Gives me great pleasure to say that the next 4 awards are coming from the central office, and I have the honor of presenting 3 of them. The first is for environmental stewardship, and it goes to the L&D Lighting Energy Performance Contract Team. To be clear, although the central office nominated this team, it's actually comprised of outstanding employees from not only the central office, but from the Richmond and Hampton Roads districts as well. But before I talk about their accomplishments, let me give you a little background. This contract involves a replacement of at least about 9,700 energy efficient lights with new efficient LED lights within the VDOT's 4 eastern districts, as well as implementation of a new lighting control system which provides an additional 20% energy efficiency benefit beyond that achieved by the LED conservation alone, and allows VDOT to monitor future energy savings. Prior to 2020, the LED lighting team spent 4 years developing the contract. This contract took extensive effort to develop due to technical complexity, widespread variability in VDOT's lighting infrastructure, and environmental considerations. It is VDOT's first ever EPC and the state's first ever EPC focused on highway construction. VDOT successfully negotiated a contract that minimizes environmental impacts, maximizes energy efficiency, optimizes financial benefits, and best considers VDOT future maintenance needs. The team managed and reviewed the contractor's audit of over 10,000 light poles and service panels to ensure that the new LED was appropriately sized to adequately illuminate the roadway while minimizing light trespass and light pollution and sky glow. Also ensuring that all lights used the appropriate correlated color temperature as VDOT's lighting policy. The benefits of this project cannot be overstated. From an environmental standpoint, this means 11.3 million kilowatt hours reduced energy consumption, and that's enough to power approximately 16,000 refrigerators for a year. As far as safety, the longer lasting LED results in substantially reduced frequency of future relamping operations, in turn reducing exposure of VDOT workers and contractors and the motoring public to risk of the work zones. And from a cost perspective, the energy performance contract is projected to result in 30 million cumulative saving and 4.6 million cumulative saving dollars by the year 2036. Park and rides, rest areas, waste stations will also see an upgrade. It can't be overstated what an impressive achievement this is. And right now, this project is about 96% complete. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly announce the recipients of Commissioner's Award for Environmental Stewardship to the LED Lighting Energy Performance Contract Team. The members are, and there's 10 of them, Van Loan Wynn, D Audit, Mark Lipschultz, Mansour Manhan, David Root, Rob Hobson from Richmond District. Also from Richmond, Joe Gibbs from Hampton Roads, Chuck Dixon from Hampton Roads, and Steve Stanley. Those are the 10 people. Please stand. Congratulations. Van's not here? Got a couple more coming still. All righty, thank you. Very proud to present the next award from the central office in the category of heroism, and it goes to Mr. Jerry Gordon. Jerry is a statewide senior safety manager, and what he did to save the life of a fellow VDOT employee can only be described as heroic. On December the 16th, 2020, a VDOT Safety Service Patrol employee was outside his vehicle when he was struck on I-64 by a tractor trailer and severely injured. At roughly the same time, Jerry was traveling on I-64 when he came upon the incident. He turned on his lights and pulled over into the right shoulder, where a citizen ran up to him and stated that the employee was dying and needed help. Jerry grabbed his first aid kit and gloves from his vehicle and approached the injured SSP. He did a quick assessment, stabilized his injured neck, and began holding pressure to control bleeding from several lacerations on his face and head. A Virginia State trooper arrived and assisted Jerry with the initial first aid response. He and the trooper reassured and kept the injured SSP calm until the emergency medical services arrived. EMS arrived and transported the SSP to UVA Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. This accident doesn't say in here, but was during a snow event, and this was going across after mountain. So all this was done while it was pouring down snow on the mountain there. The injuries to the SSP were substantial: a brain bleed, fractured facial fractures, lacerations, fractured ribs, punctured lung, and he had lost a tremendous amount of blood. Because of Jerry's quick thinking and life-saving actions, the SSP employee not only survived, but he walked out of the hospital just a few weeks later. What an incredible show of heroism and care for your fellow VDOT employees, Jerry. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner's Award for Heroism, Jerry Gordon. All righty, my last award is in the category of innovation, and it goes to two individuals who make up the Maintenance Severe Weather Group. The Maintenance Division has developed and implemented two apps by the Sylvania Inspect app and the Winter Readiness app, which have created solution improvements for a variety of manual tasks, and most of those folks that are involved in maintenance will know exactly what they are. This app is currently being leveraged in 4 districts and is a new electronic form application that replaces the manual vehicle inspection process for M7B and service snow contractors. The app has created the opportunity for users to complete the entire inspection process electronically, start to finish in one accessible location. This digital process, with the utilization of technology, has increased effective data collection and reporting requirements. The average time to complete an inspection was reduced by 44%, going from 45 minutes on average to 20 minutes per inspection. With over 2,680 being completed, over 1,000 work hours were given back to the districts to utilize on other programs and work requirements. The app allows for universal access between Apple and Android devices. Users are able to document their inspected vehicle by uploading photos, make relevant comments pertaining to the inspection of the vehicle, and maintaining a historical record of reference. Then there's the Winter Readiness app. This app is easily accessible by anyone at VDOT through a static link and requires no form of sign-in. These features allow users to view M7B vendor and truck agreements, statutes by district, and maintenance, the automated vehicle locator communication status of all contractors, and the AVL device, bid lines, and the associated equipment to the area headquarters. In addition, users have access to a contract list of all vendors with their associated information, with a lookup feature that enables users to find all relevant information on a specific piece of equipment. This app and the Winter Readiness app both provide adaptive expansion opportunities to meet evolving business needs, along with supporting the VDOT of Tomorrow's initiatives. As we all know, this past year has created unprecedented challenges for so many. Both of these apps have created an opportunity for enhanced safety precautions in accordance with current COVID protocols. Users of the app have a greater opportunity to maintain adequate social distancing and can plan accordingly for data uploads with the offline feature of the app. All of these increase their efficiency and improves reporting capabilities. And all are reasons why it's my privilege to present the Commissioner's Award of Excellence to Brandy Borgia and A.J. Untz. And now to present the last award for the central office is my good friend Bart Thrasher, our chief engineer.
Tabitha? Not yours? Okay. Well, I know I can't read with them. Everybody got a nice script in here to go off of. Everybody knows me. I don't really follow those very much. So, first and foremost, it's an honor to be here with the recipients of these awards. It's an honor. I want to draw a special attention anytime that we have a member of our VDOT team who saves another VDOT person's life. That deserves standing up and applauding for that man. Sir, thank you. Jerry, can't tell you how appreciative we are for that. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. The next award is for innovation, and it also comes from central office. Construction business process and field inspections historically have been on paper. Those of us that have served in the field, I can tell you, we hated those. Anytime in an inspector's truck, you had two legal things. You had a set of plans, and you had the spec book. And we carried that everywhere we went on all projects. New software for scheduling and document storage capabilities has been used, and however, these processes were completely unique in all 9 districts. I'm shocked. that all 9 districts would do something differently. I'm amazed at that. I'm sure it's not like that in Fredericksburg, right, Marcy? No, sure. E-Construction Initiative was born when a few field engineers realized there was a better way to do things. And this is the innovative and intuition that VDOT staff has. To find a better way when we know what we're doing is just not the sharpest knife in the drawer. It's not the smartest thing to do. Collaborating with Central Office, the E-Construction team was formed with the goal of business process improvement, the incorporation of technology. However, the initial focus is where it should have been, and it should have been on the inspectors. The inspectors are the backbone of our construction program. And let me say that one more time. They are the backbone of our construction program. Whatever we can do to make their lives easier, we should be doing. And this is a absolute fantastic example of that. Over many years, field inspectors' duties have grown to include many administrative duties that pulled inspectors from the field. And those are important duties, don't get me wrong, it is important. But what's most important is to have our inspectors with boots on the ground on the job sites. That's the most important thing, because that's where they're the most functional. That's where they have the eyes that we need to be able to see projects going forward. The solution presented itself through a hybrid software and hardware approach. Cellular native tablets using a downloaded cloud base for plan grid application would provide inspectors with digital copies of the plans, contracts, and the manuals needed to build our projects. Further, the mobility of the tablet allowed inspectors to document anywhere at any time. And that's important, because most of the time we were documenting stuff in the field, going back to the office, writing it down, coming back out to the field. It's just a repetitive process. The camera streamlined the upload process by removing the need to transfer photos to a computer and then a project file, and the cellular service allowed for real-time collaboration. Once a proof concept was completed, the team worked with senior leadership to secure resources. Where's Laura? Thank you for the money, Laura. We appreciate that. For a true pilot program that was sponsored in portion by FHWA. And it was supported by the Research Council. Anybody here from Research Council? Kathy not here? Be sure I say Kathy, thank you very much for that. The Plan Grid pilot started with 75 participants, over 40 projects, and it was an immediate success. The E-Construction team has been recognized as a leader in innovation, have been asked to present their technology to various different outlets and at numerous conferences across the state. So I am extremely proud and with great pleasure to be able to say thank you and congratulations to the E-Construction team on this remarkable award. So I don't think everybody's here today. In fact, Robert emailed me this morning. He had sick kids, and we said, please stay away. So Boy Hoyt, Robert Rignall, Dakota Clifford, Marty Holloway. Thank you very much. Don't be shy, guys. Okay. So the next presentation will be the Lifetime Achievement Award, and that will be provided by our illustrious district engineer in Hampton Roads, Mr. Chris Hall.
Well, it's certainly my honor and privilege to be here to recognize this next recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award, and that's Mr. Alton Yates here to my right, and his lovely wife is with him this morning. It's funny, I actually knew Alton well before I was in VDOT. Alton and his family sat about 2 pews behind me in church, and I remember going up to him one day, and there's other family connections. I went up to him one day and I said, you know, Alton, I heard you work for VDOT. You know, what do you do? I mean, this was, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. He's like, I'm an electrician over at the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. I work on electrical stuff over there. But, you know, now I know that Alton does a lot more than just an electrician over on the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. And, you know, it's hard to quantify. When you say lifetime achievement, it's hard to quantify and put in a 2 or 3 minute blurb on what somebody accomplishes and what they do. In Alton's case, over a career that spans over 4 decades. But what he has done, his dedication, his expertise, his professionalism, and how he goes about his business has been absolutely indispensable to the district and to the Eastern region on maintaining the reliable operations of probably, arguably, some of the state's key strategic infrastructure. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, Monterey Merrimack Bridge Tunnel, and before that, when we had the Elizabeth River tunnels, the downtown tunnel, Midtown tunnels, involved in those as well. But Alton joined VDOT in 1978. I was 13. That's a long time ago. He spent a remarkable career working on not only our bridge tunnel projects, but also all of our movable bridges across the district. Quickly, went from starting as a senior electronics technician, working his way up, working within the bridges and tunnel structures, the tunnel's electrical and mechanical division, and then up to supervisor, and then finally senior electrical engineer, and finally as our traffic systems engineer for the entire Eastern region. Alton's been engaged in a number of what I would call sort of watershed events within the district. The tolling infrastructure on the Coleman Bridge, the development of the Newton system for our Monterey Merrimack and Hampton Roads Bridge tunnels. This is a unique system that was designed and developed that operates all the ITS for those tunnel structures. And I have come to learn a great deal about the Newton system because when it doesn't work, we stop traffic on the tunnels, and that's a significant emotional event for me. So Alton is, was decisive in the development of that system, and hopefully will be decisive in the development of its replacement quickly. Also involved in the development of the 50-year life cycle plans for our 14 special structures we have in the district, as well as most recently, and probably, when you look at your legacy going after you, he's been a key part of the Technical Requirements Committee, and will also be a key requirement of our handoff and as we go through our acceptance of the new Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, the 2 new tubes that are being constructed right now. Again, it's hard to capture all of the myriad of things that Alton has done over the years for the district. I think it's fair to say that, when you look at, everybody's important. Everybody has a key role to play in the organization, but some folks, because of their knowledge and their skill and their abilities, they are close to being indispensable. And Alton is one of those people and has been for a long time in our district. But I would say, a lot of stuff, a lot of work on a lot of different things, but, to me, I think it's probably more important not just to, recognize what Alton has done over the last 40 years, but I think it's probably more important to recognize how he's done it. And I would tell you that there's no greater example of a humble servant leader within our organization than Alton Yates. And I would sum up and describe him as a quiet professional who we can always count on to get things done when there is a lot on the line when it comes to keeping our facilities open. And so it's not about performance excellence, but it's also about excellence in character. And I think that's what really separates Alton from so many of his peers is how he has handled himself and carried himself over these past 4 years in our organization. So it gives me great pleasure to recognize this year's Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Alton Yates. And next, we'll have Lisa Pride, our Chief of Administration.
Good morning, still morning. Thank you, Chris. I have the pleasure of presenting the Outstanding Customer Service Award for the Commissioners Award. The success of any organization really lies in how well it serves both its internal and external customers. During a time in which there was no blueprint, no way to prepare, and when practically every day was a new hurdle to climb, the COVID-19 pandemic response team rose to the challenge in a way that can only be described as outstanding. With very little known information, even from the experts, these individuals put protocols and policy in place, ensuring the continued delivery of essential services to our external customers while maintaining the safety of all VDOT employees. With an employee-centric approach, individuals within the Office of Safety, Security, and Emergency Management and the Division of Human Resources responded to the COVID-19 pandemic in a rapid, meticulous, and innovative manner, protecting the health and safety of VDOT employees and allowing for the continuity of our essential business operations during unprecedented, uncertain, and ever-changing circumstances. This team was the first to develop COVID-19 response protocols and communications to employees, which were shared and adopted by several other agencies. The team's solutions for gathering data, the creation of employee and supervisor guidance, protocols, and best practices, as well as the establishment of an emergency planning page on Inside VDOT to maintain all up-to-date information, has been applauded by parties, both internal and external to the agency. Local HR managers and their teams worked and continue to work tirelessly to utilize the guidance and processes established to ensure the central office, district leadership, and employees understood the exposure notification process, had answers to the frequently asked questions, and really felt supported in these unprecedented times. They performed contact tracing for thousands of exposure notifications, critically thought through and consulted with employees on leave options, and compliantly managed leave cases that varied in type, length, and complexity. Additionally, local HR consulted with and supported local employees and leadership in staffing plans, contractor concerns, teleworking options, technology challenges and training, and identified creative solutions to a plethora of unexpected issues and challenges. HR managers remain current on the frequently changing guidance, policy, directives, and law, and quickly updated internal guidelines and relayed information and educated others, all while motivating their respective teams who oftentimes were overwhelmed and both physically and emotionally drained. These collective efforts resulted in VDOT's daily employee attendance numbers remaining at levels required for the continuity of our operations, roughly 91% on average, ensuring appropriate staffing for meeting business goals and objectives. This exceptional team is comprised of 10 core response team members in the policy agency Commonwealth level and 10 at the field level due to the size and impact of this unprecedented event. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am so very, very proud to present the Commissioner's Award for Outstanding Customer Service to the COVID-19 Pandemic Response Team. They are as follows: Amanda Haley, Autumn Liner, Brian Wade, Byron Marshall, Christina Landez, Donna Pfizer, Ernest Lott, Greg Freshour, Jan Pierce, Jennifer Blevins, Jennifer Chenault, Kat McAndrew, Marshall Johnson, Mary Margaret Allen, Matt Smith, Norrell Meeks, Ryan Whitlaw, Chanel Bird, Stacy Litchford, and Tiffany Sharon. I just want to thank you all for all that you've done and continue to do as we navigate through this COVID-19 response. Your work has been remarkable, and can't say enough what a great job you've done to keep VDOT working during this pandemic. Next to present is Bill Cutler, the Deputy District Engineer for NOVA.
Hi, good morning. It is still morning. As you may have seen in the video clip, this award is for outstanding project delivery or partnership, and there are actually two sets of teams who will be honored today. And the first is NOVA's Scotts Crossing Road Project Delivery Team. The Fortune 500 bridge, so nicknamed because it connects corporate headquarters for Capital One and Hilton Worldwide, is one of the complex Scotts Crossing Road, part of the complex project that provides a new Capital Beltway crossing in the heart of Tysons. I also may be the only person that calls it the Fortune 500 bridge. So, and if you're not familiar with Tysons, it used to be called Tysons Corner. A couple years ago, dropped the corner, Tysons. Multimodal in scope, the project provides a direct connection to the McLean Station of the Washington Metro Rail Silver Line, direct access to the Capital Beltway Express lanes, and pedestrian and bicycle passage over the Beltway, all while adding a key new 4-lane link to a developing grid of streets in busy Tysons. This project team received a design whose phase had been managed by the Fairfax County government and proceeded to implement the $51 million construction phase for the half-mile-long project. This included working over live lanes of the Capital Beltway while maintaining connections to the Capital Express lanes and local roadways to keep the economy of Tysons moving. This team managed the delivery of an array of unusual items concentrated in a very busy area, including transparent sound walls that were erected to protect the Gates of McLean condominiums and letting in natural light to their residences. Digital message signs were built, and an ITS integration system linked them to Transurban's Beltway Express lanes, a Beltway Express communication system, to inform drivers of variable cost tolling. 10 MSE and gravity walls were constructed to support the Beltway ramps and bridges. Galvanized steel platforms were placed to provide access to elevated signal controller boxes. Architectural stamped concrete was incorporated into parapets and sidewalks, and ornamental bridge fencing was installed to meet aesthetic commitments. One wall of an impacted parking garage for Hilton Worldwide's headquarters was completely refaced with architecturally aesthetic concrete. The gates of McLean condominiums also received a new electronic vehicle gate system and parking improvements due to private property impacts of the project. And protection of environmentally sensitive Scotts Crossing stream and wetlands was also a priority throughout the construction. The project was also constructed to allow for future removal of raised medians on the bridge to allow for the future Tyson circulator transit system. This Northern Virginia construction team added to agency credibility and confirmed to the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors and the Tyson's Chamber of Commerce that VDOT can be counted on to deliver quality projects in complex urban locations while supporting economic growth and multimodal connectivity. This accomplishment was recognized at a ribbon-cutting event on March 5th, 2020, right before we closed down. That included the Fairfax County Board and General Assembly members. It was also honored through ACEC with an honor award. And since this script was written and after the nomination was accepted, the team also won 2 more awards. Excellence in Dispute Resolution from the Dispute Resolution Board Foundation. That's a national award. And also another national award from ASHE. The project was named the 2021 National Project of the Year. So I'm very proud of this team, and I want to congratulate all of them and the support that they've received. Thank you for making us look good in Northern Virginia and all across Virginia. Very well done. The team members are Chan Basnayaki, Dinesh Singh, Abdul Razak, Denise Cantwell, and Eris Muhammad. Right. And to present the second award for outstanding project delivery, Stanton District Engineer Randy Kaiser will be joining me for this multi-district award that we have between both Stanton and Northern Virginia District. Thank you. So a locally administered project by the town of Hillsborough, which later named the project Rethink 9 by the town, was ready to go to construction in 2020. The project provided 2 roundabouts located north and south of the town, sidewalks, on-street parking, completion of the entire town's water and sewage systems, burial of all utilities, and it provided raised crosswalks at strategic locations on Route 9 within the town in Loudoun County. This work presented unique challenges requiring extended closures of Route 9, a major commuter road between Leesburg, Virginia, and Charlestown, West Virginia, with connection to Maryland. This location also supports local tourism and economic-based traffic. Initial design plans for the project were to have single-lane closures for approximately 3 years. Detours added approximately 45 minutes onto a trip. When the construction contractor was hired, VDOT received a request to close the road throughout the construction for a full year. A better solution was needed, and this team went to work, immediately searching for a data-driven solution that protected the interests of all affected.
And I'd really extend my sincere appreciation to the Northern Virginia team hitting that pause button to do a data-driven type of decision-making process. because they were getting a lot of political pressure. Just go ahead and close the road. Don't worry about it. The traffic's going into West Virginia and back into Clark County, which is in Stanton District. So it really took a lot of intestinal fortitude for a local leadership, because I had calls from my own Commonwealth Transportation Board member talking to his colleague, we ought to just go ahead and do this. And I think with a lot of good discussion and dialogue internally, we all came to the conclusion we need to do a data-driven process. And the Northern Virginia team just knocked the ball out of the court. They hit the pause button. It took a lot of extra work and effort on their part to really go through the process, to do that data-driven process, because you had a lot of other things on your plate and just wasn't on your to-do list to do, because this was a locally administered project by the town of Hillsborough, a nice project, but it was also going to impact residents and citizens in West Virginia and Clark County. And I guess the communication and collaboration, since it was an LAP project, really hadn't occurred with the adjoining communities. When I say communities, West Virginia and Clark County, and I guess when some of that stuff was starting to happen, really was pretty obvious some of the data just didn't reveal why would you do that total closure that Bill was talking about. So the Northern Virginia team came with an outstanding solutions to do this, to move it forward by hitting the pause button and doing all that extra work and developing that teamwork and trust really with the local jurisdictions in Loudoun County and town of Hillsborough, and more importantly in our district is Clark County and also West Virginia. I know Ed Carter developed a good rapport with a lot of the team members, my resident engineer for Edinburgh who has that particular county, and with the teamwork and trust that we developed with the data, he got the Clark County Board of Supervisors calmed down, because they were kind of going sideways and making phone calls to the Secretary's office, and crazy things were happening behind the scenes. But taking a very controversial situation, taking a very methodical approach, and doing a data-driven process, they knocked the ball out of the court. And I know they went the extra mile, come up with some very innovative solutions to get this project built. And I guess then we had this is before the pandemic hit, and then we were able to take advantage of that opportunity with the pandemic, with the lower traffic volumes, and actually accelerate and do total closures, I guess, during 2020. So they did an outstanding. So I'm kind of winging it. I'll look at my notes, see if I forgot anything. But I really appreciate them, because I had phone calls from Helen Quavo, the district engineer there, and my CTB member, even the commissioner was involved, and a big shout out to him. We got just a little bit of money to do some safety improvements on Route 7 and Route 340 to help facilitate that additional traffic, which helped build that trust with the Clark County Board of Supervisors. They did an outstanding job, everybody coming across, I guess, district boundaries. And I know Matt Shiley and Matt Bond from our district traffic engineer worked really good with the traffic engineering section in Northern Virginia and making those safety improvements very quickly and very efficiently. So we're definitely very, I got a lot of pleasure and appreciation for the great work they did to make that happen. So you want me to keep on going? Might as well just keep on. All right, the overall project cost, to just give you situational awareness, is $25 million, and a lot of that was with the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. They contributed about $12.1 million. The VDOT team had the right talent, attitude, and leadership qualities to work through this very sensitive situation. And I kind of talked about some of the sensitivities. They rolled up their sleeves, the team listened attentively, gathered data, presented opposing views and feasible alternatives. The outcome was a balanced project that planned to allow the Rethink 9 project to be constructed in half the time of the traditional method at a cost that fit the budget while reducing community impacts and improving work zone safety. The estimated savings in construction cost alone is estimated at nearly $5 million that you save the local community there. The savings is critical, I guess, in the morning commute and weekend leisure travel time is several $million. For these reasons, the Hillsborough Route 9 MOT planning team is extremely deserving of this Commissioner's Award for outstanding project delivery, and congratulations to the recipients: Fareed Miguel, Camille Sulman, Denise Cantwell, Christopher Carshult, I'm mispronouncing your team members because I don't know them, Matt Shiley, Matt Bond, Ed Carter, and Rodney Fry. Congratulations, team. Thank you very much. He can give it to the other Matt. The next to present, is the last but not the least, is Marcy Parker, the district engineer from Fredericksburg. Marcy.
Alrighty, let's make sure I can find my spot. Thank you, Randy. So last but certainly not least is the award for Outstanding VDOT Employee. Adam Travers is the Mega Projects Construction Manager in the Fredericksburg District. He is a quiet, consistently outstanding presence driving the successful delivery of two major Improve 95 projects in the Fredericksburg District. The I-95 southbound and northbound Rappahannock River crossing projects, as well as the nearby Chatham Bridge Rehabilitation Project. Adam's attentiveness to tracking innumerable details related to permits, processes, and paperwork has established high expectations for quality, safety, and environmental compliance in all three work zones. In short, Adam sweats the details every day. He invests long hours and accepts personal responsibility across the project's workload to ensure the work zones and are properly set up and critical deliveries and activities are accomplished on time. He anticipates future milestones months ahead and checks that approaching supporting work is on course. He smooths out disagreements between contractors and subcontractors before they can disrupt the on-time performance or trickle down to affect the travelers with unnecessary lane closures. A diplomatic communicator, Adam frequently meets with surrounding business owners and residents near the work zones to keep them updated, answer their questions, and avoid conflict. His I-95 projects are a blend of bridge and highway work, and all three have attracted intense interest from environmental and recreational stakeholders along the Rappahannock River. Adam has helped to sustain contacts between the contractor, VDOT, and the recreational groups to allow for quick internal problem solving and conflict resolution. The river has a lot of recreational traffic, and we had to close the river a few times, so we had to figure out, well, how is all this recreational traffic going to get down the river? And Adam was integral in figuring that out. And the recreational people, they love him. Absolutely love them. We get calls all the time about how much they are so happy they can get up and down the river, and we know that Adam did that. The projects often require evening and weekend work, and over the past year have involved significant traffic shifts that have surpassed 16 consecutive hours in duration. During 2020, he has also pressed on without interruption, despite having to oversee and accomplish work within many new COVID-19 social distancing, mask, and cleaning protocols. Thank you, Lisa. While Adam is noted for his intensity, he respects and values the skill and judgment of his construction inspection team and places trust in them to make decisions in the field and accomplish their work through collaboration. He works closely with the district's communications team and frequently shares photos, videos, and information to keep the public and motorists updated on his projects. Many of the incidents that we've had on 95 in the construction projects, Adam has taken many of those videos and photos that we have put out on social media. He is relied on to help coordinate many of the overlapping work zones on the I-95 corridor, including the emergency maintenance activities, paving, and the adjacent public-private express lanes extension project. Adam is a keen observer and notices when an incident or delay is causing congestion on the I-95 corridor, often before the TOC, and often is the first person to alert district staff to breaking news and emergencies. With millions of dollars at stake, Adam's meticulous daily tracking is keeping these mega projects on time and on budget, and is pushing to deliver I-95 congestion relief to the public as soon as possible. He has been an outstanding employee since joining the agency, but the complexity of his task during 2020, managing more than $250 million worth of construction projects, including 2 high-visibility interstate and bridge projects on I-95 during COVID-19, is an impressive achievement. All involved in that, as busy as he was still able to have his second baby this year, actually. So he is 2 under 2. So he does all that and goes home and has to deal with 2 toddlers, if you will. So it is for these reasons and many more that Adam Travers is the recipient of the Commissioner's Award for Outstanding VDOT Employee. Congratulations, Adam. Job well done. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our final remarks from our Deputy Commissioner, Mr. Rob Carey.
Thanks, Marcy. I have a bunch of remarks, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I stick to them. Wow. I mean, really, wow. Everybody who gets these awards every year, I mean, I've been here almost 30 years, and they just get better and better each year. The things that people do and the impressive things. I sit here and I think about, you know, as I'm gonna go back through these because I want to just comment on each of them really. You know, Nathan did really incredible thing getting these the masks, but he's an incredible employee. Forget the masks and something with pandemic. He comes up with a lot of great ideas and very innovative thinker. So this wasn't a surprise to me at all when I heard he had done this. So, you know, there's much more to these stories than what's right here in the book and what was said today. Tammy Sowers, I've known Tammy a long time. She is, you know, there are not too many female superintendents around the agency. But she is one of the very best superintendents, male, female, doesn't matter. We're really, really fortunate to have her. Salem District, again, great job with the work going on there. And what wasn't mentioned, she's in that southwest area headquarters around Roanoke. It's the busiest they've got in the district, really. I mean, they've got that area, and then they've got around Christiansburg. There's always something going on. Pick whichever district you're in, the busy area, that's what she's got. So doing a great job in a busy area. You know, to Jim in Bristol, I mean, really, Smart Scale is now it's made such a difference to the agency because it's taken politics so far away from the project selection process. I'm not saying there's not politics, that's not my point. But it used to be driven by that. Now it's just a peripheral thing. And to kind of take a one-man band and go through those projects and really weigh them out and make sure that those getting selected are the right ones. The amount of money that's going to Bristol because of good applications, but your effort in making sure we're doing the right things, it's just so important. And to take that on really shorthanded, make it happen. I can't say how much I appreciate it. The LED team, y'all have no idea the trial and tribulation to get that contract done. And I remember being at a CTB meeting, and one of the CTB members waved a piece of paper around, and it was an American Medical Association report about LEDs and how they're going to cause cancer and seizures and everything. And it was like, oh my gosh, we're trying to put lights in, and somehow we're dealing with the American Medical Association. And anyway, went back to the drawing board, really looked at what the, I'll say, color of the lights, as they say. There were ones that were not issue, but ultimately, and I will tell you, former chief of staff for the governor involved pushing this thing. There's a lot of juice behind it, trying to make it happen. But we made sure we did it right, and it took a little longer. Not because of anything here, but because of just wanting to make sure we addressed all the concerns. But it's going to save money. It's environmentally the right thing to do, and good for the taxpayers. As Bart said, you know, Jerry, I told him after he got the award, I said, frankly, most people wouldn't stop. I think we all know that. many people would drive right by. If Jerry drove right by, that person might not be here today, and their family, their friends wouldn't have that person. So I know they suffered a lot, and I'm sure probably still have lingering impacts from that incident. But you know, what else do you say? Phenomenal, phenomenal. The severe weather group, you know, that was all kind of born out of, we had an issue with some snowplow activity that wasn't great. And you know, I think the headline in the Washington Post was, I don't know, like drugs, bribes, something, not anything you wanted. So we put in place, I think it's 27, 28 points we wanted to go through and make sure that we had all the internal controls to do these things right. And a big part of it was these inspections. There were, frankly, in this original incident that happened, there were some trucks that were up on blocks that theoretically they were using to plow snow for us. It never were being used, but they had turned that in. So we said we're going to put in place a inventory method to look at these vehicles, make sure they're up to snuff, do that stuff. And I will tell you, a key part of that is this software, but another part of that, about a year after all that, after we had come up with a report of what we were going to do, the Washington Post called up. And they said, well, you know, you did the 27-point thing of what you're going to do. We'd like to come and talk to you about the status of that. And I'm going to tell you, there are places in government around the country where they might have done a 27-point report and then they moved on to the next thing, right? The Washington Post came in and we talked to them and he said, oh, we've got this software we're using for this. We've done this. We've had, you know, the same person can't, in the same area, can't approve all these. We had all this stuff. And you know what didn't happen? A story. There was no story. Because we had said what we were going to do and we did what we said we were going to do, and it just, what's to report on? I mean, they could have taken pictures of people using the app to inventory these trucks when they came in. But that's why this stuff is important. There's always more to the story. You know, the e-construction, I am a big fan of e-construction. It's, frankly, when you think of the Walmart person delivering a package, right, you get a picture on your phone within seconds, your package sitting at your front door. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there quickly. And that's where we need to be. When you think of our maintenance personnel and you think of our construction personnel out in the field, it's the same kind of thing. Why do they not have a tablet or some device that, oh, the pothole's filled, take a picture, and then it's sent to that person who called in the pothole complaint? Why would we not do that? We're getting there. And the e-construction on the construction side is exactly that. Not only does it provide better service with the contractors, but it provides more defensible service for ourselves so that when there's an issue, we've got the data, we've got pictures. What did it look like that day? Because sometimes people's memory later, they come back and they want to portray things not exactly like they were on that day. We have the evidence now of where things were. So certainly very important when we spend, you know, we're a $7 billion agency. So to give you a sense, we're Fortune 500, we're a little bit bigger than Levi Strauss. So they have a football stadium in California named after them. Where's ours? I don't, you know, we should have that. But the and then on the lifetime achievement, Alton, I just want to say we have some paperwork back there. We're going to re-enlist you. We got a tunnel that's going to be built. It's going to be done in 2025, and we're going to need you to stay a little longer to make sure that thing's up and running. But you know, those tunnel crossings down there, nothing happens down there. There's water everywhere. You can't get across the water. You can't move. And what you've done, sustained down there, makes a difference to millions of people. I got a nephew that lives in Chicks Beach, right along the bay there, and near the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. And he does sales work basically, and he won't go across the HRBT certain times that really impacts him work-wise. He has to schedule it all around how he does that to get to the other side. So I mean, on a personal level, I recognize how it impacts people's decision-making of how they act in their life because of that. So that project's going to fix that, but we are going to need somebody that can take care of a $3.8 billion investment, and you're the guy. So you want to re-enlist, we'll take you. Let's see. You know, there's not really but so much to say around the pandemic relief thing. You all have said it. You know what that's all about. It was such a multi-pronged effort by so many people. A lot of, you know, we talk sometimes about we select people for jobs. One of the key things, dealing with ambiguity. That was a life lesson in ambiguity. Who knew exactly what was going to be and what we needed to do? But, you know, people were focused on let's get to tomorrow. Let's figure out what we do today and tomorrow and the next few days. We don't have to solve everything today, and just progressively made steps to make things work better all the time. And, you know, the reality is we had states like Pennsylvania, they kind of shut stuff down. We didn't stop a project. We didn't slow down a project. We didn't cancel any upcoming projects. None of it. We kept everything going, and we kept our people safe. And, you know, about 3,500 people out there working every day through all of it. Much of that time, people really, you got to think about it. We know a lot now. They didn't know much then. We didn't know that much, and we were just really trying to protect people. And you know, we did a great job with that. And so for that, I mean, I always tell people, VDOT is not about transportation. We're about quality of life. That was about life, not just quality of life, but about life, and making sure we did everything we could. And I hope all the employees appreciated the efforts that were being made to try to do the right thing, even though we weren't exactly sure what the right thing was to do at all times. It's interesting. I like the Fortune 500 bridge. Where Bill? Bill's always good with the words. So that's a good way to put it. And I think it's interesting that the two projects are really so different. You have Tyson's, I mean, literally one of the wealthiest zip codes in the United States of America, McLean, that area. Lots of people, the citizenry and the corporate partners around there did not end up there by accident. They're highly sophisticated, highly successful people in their lives. And so when they're the public we're dealing with, they come well prepared. They come ready to challenge, not challenge in a bad way, but they want good answers to the questions they have. And they if you don't have good answers, they will eat you up. If you have good answers, they'll be respectful of that generally. So developing a project right there, and you get the express lanes and Tyson's and all, I mean, just an incredible setting there to do that stuff. When you're doing projects where there's electric gates or whatever into the apartment, you know, that's not our everyday project, really an intense area. And to do such a great job in that, and then contrasted with really another great job between the Stanton and Salem district, or Stanton and Northern Virginia district, with the Route 9 project. Very, very, very politically sensitive. It's a pretty rural area, but at the same time, you know, there is a lot of commuter traffic and things coming from West Virginia and further out to the west, Clark County and so forth, working their way into Northern Virginia to work. And, you know, there were lots of sensitivities. I'll just say lots of sensitivities around people who are there. They want their project developed, and they don't want to impact anything negatively, but they also want the project done. And striking the balance in that stuff, that's a great example of what we have to do every day is, you know, you don't do $7 billion worth of work a year without impacting someone and people, you know, being bothered. It's our job to thread the needle to get to a point where everybody's like can live with it as best we can, because we're not going to please everyone. And I think the Route 9 is a great example of threading that needle and bringing a project to fruition that was really challenging and on a very broad regional scale because of the people that travel through. While the project wasn't so huge, the sort of driver shed that passed through there was pretty big. And then, you know, Adam, on the stuff there in Fredericksburg, I mean, those are such big and important projects. They're in the news every single day. I've driven, I ride the train couple times, try to go a couple times a year up to New York City, just like a weekend, and my wife likes to go up there and go around New York. It's fun. But I always drive the train and we'll look over at Chatham Bridge and so forth, because you drive right through and just watch the progress through the window of a train. And it was really a nice project. And then, you know, obviously the whole 95 is critical to the entire lifeblood of the economy of the state of Virginia. And again, like I talked about in McLean, these are challenging projects, lots of people every day, and they don't want to sit. They don't want to be stuck in traffic. They want to get where they got to go. They're already, in many cases, driving a long way to get to work and that kind of thing, and that they don't want any delay. So thank you so much for that effort. But I think I went through all those, so I didn't really stick to my remarks. But I'll say the last thing I want to say about all this stuff is I'm fortunate. A few others are fortunate enough in here that we sometimes get to go to some meetings nationally, and we get to see what other states are doing and so forth. And I'll say this: there's all the other states. There's some people do some good stuff. They ain't Virginia. They do some good stuff in many places, but you know, I think about you know, people like me and Bart and Kevin and Lisa. Does anybody in here know who Bill Weddington is, or Dickie Simpkins? No, that's us. That's the people I just mentioned. You all, the people who got awards today: Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. The people I named were Chicago Bulls players. When they played and they won championships in like 91, 92, 93, 95, 6, 7. So there are many people in VDOT that are team players that make things happen, and then there are superstars. And that's the award winners here today, really. And I just can't say enough about it, and really appreciate what you all do, what you continue to do. You are the best of the best, and going back to the thing about the other states, I mean, Virginia, really, we do incredible things. We sometimes, we're at a meeting, I shouldn't probably, anyway, we're at a meeting, Southeast states, and they asked each of the state to say, what's the most innovative thing you've done in the last year? And no disrespect to Louisiana, I love Louisiana, but they said we sold Garvey bonds. We sold Garvey bonds, I don't know, Laura, you probably, 15 years ago, I don't know, something like that. It's like, they came to us and we said, well, we have a couple things. We're doing this bored tube tunnel for the first time in the state of Virginia. We've got this 66 project where for the right for them to build it, they gave us $578 million, and then they're gonna give us another $800 million in present value over the life of that for the right to operate it and so forth. And anyway, it was like, we went through our comments of what we were doing, and you just like, mic drop, we're done. So anyway, I just say that. Virginia is a great state. You all are doing great things, and sometimes you don't realize how good you are till you get to talk to people in other places, and you all are really, really good, and I'm very proud to be part of it. I'm proud to be, whether, I don't know if I'm Jack Haley, Dickie Simpkins, or Bill Weddington, but y'all in the Hall of Fame. So there you go. Thank you.
Well, nothing left to be said there. He said drop the mic, so let's all collectively do that. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with our ceremony. Again, congratulations to all of you. What we're going to do is we're going to switch things up just a little bit. We're going to take a picture. And we're going to take a picture before we eat and get crumbs on us and all that kind of stuff while we still look nice and cute. So what we're going to do is, if you would, please rise. Michaela and Joshua are going to lead the way. So you're going to go straight out the back to the left into the sculpture gardens. We're going to take a group photo. After the group photo, you're going to come back in, and when the next room over, we have lunch ready for you. After you have lunch, you'll come back in and eat, and you're free to go whenever you choose to. I would ask, though, that before you leave, please wait and get a bag that our Central Office Human Resources ladies have for you. We have a bag to carry your award. That thing is heavy, isn't it? This isn't a cheap award. This is big time. So we don't want you to drop it, or we want you to be able to transport it well. And not only that, we have a bag for you, and we got a little something extra for you also in the bag. So don't leave without the orange bag. So Joshua and Michaela, please lead the way.